being 6:30 on Wednesday, May 18th, 2022, I call the Finance Committee Appointment Committee meeting to order. As this meeting is hybrid meeting, I will take attendance by roll call. Mark Haddad,
Present.
Candy LaValle,
Present.
Dawn Anderson, present.
And I will
Present.
call, thank you, and I'll call to order the meeting of the Finance Committee. We're in joint session. This is a hybrid meeting, so we'll take attendance. Skip?
Present.
Sue?
Present.
Andy?
Present.
Mark, present. Greg?
Present.
I saw Angelina. Did she disappear?
She was here.
She was there. There she is. And Angelina. Hi, Angelina.
And Sue has her hands up.
Oh, go ahead, Sue.
Sue has a question.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Excuse me, Mark.
Yep. I said, go ahead.
I have no audio.
Oh, Billy.
Who's in there?
Billy.
Robidoux?
Angelina and Skip, you can hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Skip?
I'm fine.
All right. And then Candy, you can hear us, right?
It goes in and out for me.
So, Sue, you don't hear us at all?
It's long distance. No, she can't hear you, so she can't
All
answer
right.
you.
So, since Sue can't hear, I'll take the minutes.
Okay.
And then Angelina, you
Yes.
get to take the minutes of the Finance Committee meeting.
Okay, I'm on it.
As soon as she can hear.
So go ahead. All yours,
Okay.
Dawn.
The first item on the agenda is to fill the vacancy in Precinct 2 with an interview of Nick Rio of 2 Clearview Street, Grafton. Mr. Rio, would you like to introduce yourself and state your reasons for applying to Finance Committee?
Sure. Nick Rio. I've lived in Grafton since 2013. I have a family of 4, two girls in the school system. Pretty much my primary reason for being interested in joining the committee is get more involved in the town since I've been here for a while. Know a lot of the people and just wanted to get more involved. So given my background, I thought this would be a good fit for me.
What is your background?
I work at Hanover Insurance in Worcester. I've been there for 14 years in a variety of analytical and financial positions. Currently, I work in the personal lines group and head up an analytics team there.
Awesome. How familiar are you with the town's budget? Have you had a chance to review the budget that was just passed at town meeting?
I have not.
How do you get involved in any budgeting in your position?
Yes, in my position, and then in the past, I've managed up to a $30 million budget for a $2 billion business. So a subset of that.
So the Finance Committee, work-wise, we have our responsibilities. We have 2 major responsibilities. We review and recommend the operating budget of the town administrator at a town meeting. And we review and take positions and meet with every single warrant article that appears on the warrant for town meeting. So those are our 2 primary responsibilities. We also are in charge of the reserve fund. There's $75,000 set aside, so if an emergency comes up throughout the year, people can come and petition the Finance Committee for money in emergency situations. We also are responsible at the end of the year if line items need to be transferred throughout the various budgets. We have the authority in conjunction with the select board to move money within the operating budget from May through June. We get to do that through the end of the year. We're a 9-member committee. It's a great committee. Although some people really don't enjoy being on the committee, they'd rather be on the select board, so they leave us. I don't want to mention any names, Andy Jefferson. Oh, Sue, can you hear us now? Oh, good. I don't have to take minutes anymore. I love it. That's good. I'm sorry. So it's as you can see, we have a lot of fun on the committee. So really do appreciate your interest. Are there any questions of members of the Finance Committee for Nick?
I just have one. I know you didn't say our operating budget, but are you familiar with any of the municipal financing at all?
I am not. This is my first foray into all of this, so
Okay.
I'll be learning along the way if I'm able to join. Would welcome learning from all of you. But again, I think my work background aligns well. But yeah, I've got a little bit of work to do on the town side of things.
Okay.
Well, I'll make you the same offer that I made to Andy and that I made to Angelina and previous members. More than happy to sit down with you offline over a beer, cup of coffee, and just walk through the whole budgeting process and how municipal finance
He gets
works.
the beer, you get the coffee.
It's gonna take more than a beer.
Yeah, that's true, Skip. It probably will take more than a beer, but this is a great committee. This committee, although the town moderator at town meeting this year made some remarks about us not liking the environment or liking the environment.
No, I said that you did.
Do we like the
I was
environment?
firmly on the side of
Of the
making
environment.
sure that the public knew that finance committee loves the environment.
I think it was Evan that said we didn't like.
Oh,
it.
Evan said we
Evan.
did. Oh, it was
Yeah.
Evan that said we didn't like the
Evan who
environment.
says you don't love the
S-
environment.
So, town meeting really does look to the finance committee for advice and recommendations. And I can remember a couple of times when we didn't take position, people wanted to know why we didn't and what the position of the finance committee was. And we get used as examples all the time when somebody wants to take a position on a certain article and say, well, the finance committee didn't want to do this. So it's,
Well, we usually pass over, and that's all what they're always worried about, but finance committee has to recommend or not recommend for every article. So,
Interesting.
and if it's a really split vote, sometimes we put the numbers on the article as to what the vote was, so people can know.
do you have any questions? Do you have any questions of members of the finance committee? Angelina, Skip, or Candy? Oh, I'm sorry, Dawn, I'm dominating the meeting.
Mark is used to running the
I am. Angelina, Skip, do you have any questions? No?
My only question is, do you have any experience working on a multiple member board?
Only every day in the office. I'm part of the leadership team for Personal Lines, so only from that standpoint, not in anything like this.
As a commercial lines guy, I won't hold the personal lines part against you,
Likewise.
but that's the sole job requirement is multiple member boards and being able to solve problems and work with different personalities.
We have to follow, in Massachusetts, there's a thing called the open meeting law. All of our meetings have to be posted 48 hours in advance of the meeting taking place. The public has the right to come and be part of the meeting process. And we can't deliberate outside of a meeting. So you can't have serial communications by email. We've gotten into trouble with that a few times. We're all learning about, email is a whole new thing when it comes to the open meeting law, and the Attorney General's been very
Except
specific on
if
that.
there are a couple of exceptions, if the chair sends out and wants to set a date, we have to change it.
Schedule.
That we can do,
Schedule we can,
but we
but
can't discuss any,
like I couldn't call Sue up and say, hey, Sue, what do you think of Nick? You want to talk about him, and without being here in
She
the
has to
meeting.
tell you in the room here.
She has to tell me in the room in front of
I have to
you,
tell in front of you, yeah.
and she won't hold back. Trust me. So I'm sorry, I will stop the finance committee, turn it back to you, Madam Chair.
No, I was going, my first list was to run down and make sure that everyone from finance committee had the opportunity to ask questions.
I just had one question. During the lead up to town meeting, there's a significant time commitment reviewing the budgets. We meet with the individual departments in small groups and review the budget with them. We meet for several hours on a few Saturdays and a couple some evenings, and we have public meetings, and just make sure that understand the time commitment, and that's something that you're willing to put in.
Absolutely.
Certain times of the year, that's a great point, Greg. Certain times of the year, we meet more often than others. Budget season, town meeting season. The summer, we pretty much take the summers off. And then come the fall, when the special town meeting, or the fall town meeting takes place, we'll meet several times, reviewing warrant articles, meeting with the moderator, meeting with the various department heads and boards and committees that submit warrant articles. It's a
Yeah.
great town.
Yeah.
This is a very well-run town, got a great town administrator that we love working with. We have a great finance director. I see her there on the screen. Hi, Mary, how are you? So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And people put up with my shenanigans, which is also very important. So,
Candy, do you have any questions? You good? Okay, I only had one, and it's kind of jumping off of what Greg and Mark were talking about. Just because we did just have our annual town meeting, and the spring town meeting approves the budget as well as makes the recommendations on the warrant articles. And one of the, I've only been moderating for a year, so this was my third town meeting, and one of the things that I've thought about is promoting those meetings where finance committee is reviewing the warrant articles and talking about how decisions were made, and as much as every department has to have their meetings where they publicly discuss the budget and how they came to it. Do you have any ideas of how to make that more accessible or get more participation in that?
I mean, what have you tried up to this point, I guess?
So far, it's just been me making videos
She's been very good.
at GCTV.
You had we had a good turnout for that town meeting,
We
over
did.
200 people. That
We
was a
had
good turnout.
Yeah, and the first town meeting was outdoors on the football field that I ran, so that I thought and we had some big things coming up on the warrant. The fall meeting is always a bit lower attendance, so for indoors, I thought we had over 200, right, Candy? Yeah.
216, I believe.
Yeah. with the
216?
final.
Oh,
And
nice.
and that's not counting our non-voting guests.
That's right.
which
We had a
didn't
bunch
get
of
a
them.
total for, but I am estimating based on just the section that they were sitting in, that we had close to 50 kids come. And I thought that's part of what I did to
Yeah.
get more people aware of what's going on and how things end up on the warrant article for town meeting, and that it isn't such a closed, you have to know to go, and that it is open to everyone, and how much work goes into it, which I feel gives a disservice to the finance committee when people show up and are saying, how did they come up with that? Well, it actually took a long time.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of work, so, and the reasons why everything was in there is really well explained or decided upon, so.
So what would be someone's incentive to come to something like that?
To attend the pre-meetings or
Yeah.
attend the.
So you're trying to, get more people there.
I think-
Why would they want to come?
I think promoting how much the final decision rests in the hands of the citizens, which I don't think people realize.
Yeah.
And that if you question an item in the budget and you bring it up for discussion and you want to get into the weeds with it, come. I want you to.
Yeah.
Which-
I think education then is probably the biggest part of that. I can speak personally that I'm not aware of that or haven't heard that before. So I think finding ways to get that type of information out there in multiple outlets and giving people a reason to want to come probably would be one suggestion, I guess.
One of the things that we should toy with, thinking about that, and some towns do it, is to mail the warrant to every household in town.
Yeah.
I know that's expensive, but at least you would get a warrant, you would read it, and you'd understand exactly what's going on before the town. The way it's done here in Grafton is we put it in various locations throughout the town, but you have to know that town meeting is coming up, and you have to be aware of it. Maybe getting it mailed to your house, we'll say, oh, what's this all about? And then you probably try to get more interested in it. Something to think about.
That is, yeah, I know that the only times I've gotten items mailed to the house was when we were having big items on the warrant article. So I remember getting something for the DPW and the library, but that wasn't from the town. It was from the people who wanted to support those
That's right.
initiatives.
Yeah. I think-
So it can be really, I'd rather it be from the town and be neutral, and this is what it is, and this is where your information is.
Yeah, probably the whole warrant would be a lot of
A
stuff,
lot.
but
But
just
even
a single
that
postcard
just
that
has
has
the URL
resources
and where
and
you
stuff.
can go to get it.
and maybe more promotion of the public hearings ahead of time, because that's
Yeah.
really the place
Where you
where
can make
people want to,
changes.
if you're interested in the budget, that is where the real discussion happens, because you have the discussion with the department heads, and you can make changes and make suggestions, and things do get changed based on suggestions that are made in the public hearings, as we saw this year. So that's something that I think people need to know more about.
So the vacancy from precinct 2 technically goes through June 30th of this year. And then there's a new 3-year term.
I was gonna say it's a short term.
I
Yeah.
understand. So, but the question is,
Lured you here under false pretense.
yeah, so the question is, would you be willing to be appointed to the full 3 years?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't have any other questions, Madam Chair.
Any other questions? Hearing, oh, yes, Mr. Jefferson.
It's fairly light, but I mean, what did you hope to get out of this experience?
Like I said, it's mostly wanted to be more involved. I'm both me and my family are highly invested in this town, and ultimately just wanted to do something to contribute is really the point of this. And maybe this is the first step to something else. Not getting ahead of myself here, but just just to do more ultimately. I think about my daughters growing up and going to school here, and just want to be able to contribute. So
Okay, that's why I ran.
I think, yeah, sounds like why most of us are up here.
Absolutely. If there's nothing else, Madam Chair, I'll make a motion that we appoint Nick, pronounce your last name for me?
Rio.
Rio, I don't want to mess up the pronunciation. Nick Rio to the Finance Committee for a term expiring June 30th, 2022.
Candy, do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Motion made and seconded. All those in favor by roll call, Mark Haddad,
Aye.
Candy LaValle,
Aye.
Dawn Anderson, aye. Congratulations and thank you so much. Don't go anywhere. We have something more.
When you get sworn in, Candy, we'll make sure you get the open meeting law.
Okay.
So you,
There's a lot to read and you'll understand all that. That's a good
but
point.
please read it. I would appreciate that.
Sure.
Did we lose Angelina?
Yeah, I think we did.
No, I think there's another.
No, I'm here.
Yeah, she's on
she's
the,
Oh,
I can see the arrow going to the right, so she's
oh, it's not on the full
technically
screen. Okay.
next to
Gotcha.
Skip,
How is
but
she?
is
Oh.
floating.
So Mary
third.
bumped Angelina basically is what happened.
I
Okay.
think so.
Yep.
Okay, so the second item on our agenda is to go through the renewals for Finance Committee. There are three-year terms that are ending June 30th, 2022. I'm going to begin with Precinct 2, Nick Rio.
I'd make a motion that we reappoint Nick Rio to a 3-year term expiring June 30th, 2025.
Candy, can I have a second?
Aye. Second.
Second. Motion made and seconded. All those in favor, Mark Haddad,
Aye.
Candy LaValle,
Aye.
Dawn Anderson, aye. Thank you for
Thank you.
joining Finance Committee.
So our next meeting, I put my Finance Committee hat on for a second, will be the end of June. And we'll be meeting with in joint session with the Select Board to do line item transfers.
Okay.
So Sue will send out notification and everything. You don't become an official member of the Finance Committee until the town clerk swears you in.
Okay.
So contact the town clerk's office to set up an appointment. Go in there and they'll swear you in twice, one for the term through 2022 and one through the term through 2025.
All right. Sounds good.
Nice.
Thank you.
Take you off the hot seat if you'd like to move over
sure.
there.
Yes,
Yeah,
you can.
might as well stay with us for the rest of the
come
night.
and join.
Come with a
Sue's
team
gonna hand up.
member.
Yes, Sue.
Yes, I will be sending Nick his letter that's confirming his membership that he will bring to Candy. It'll be a certified letter, so that, not a certified letter, but a letter that will be necessary for him to take to the town clerk's office. So
Thank you,
Nick,
Sue.
I will be in touch with you shortly.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, the next precinct is Precinct 1, Roger Courier. Will you be seeking reappointment?
After much deliberation, yeah, I guess so.
I make a motion that we reappoint Roger Currier to a term on the Finance Committee expiring on June 30th, 2025.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor, Mark Haddad,
Aye.
Candy LaValle,
Aye.
Dawn Anderson, aye. Thank you, Skip.
Oh, certainly. I'm still waiting for Mark's beer and going over the budget, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't need to teach you. You taught me.
And last but not least, we have the reappointment from Precinct 1 for Andy Jefferson. Mr. Jefferson, will you be seeking reappointment at this time?
I will not.
I am very pleased to congratulate you on your victory last night.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'm very proud of the turnout that we had at our election for this year, for the spring.
Yep.
We had more people vote in a single precinct for Andy than I got across all precincts last year when I ran, which I think is awesome. So
It tells you how fickle the electorate is.
Yep. Or how little they were invested in who was gonna moderate their town
Right.
meetings.
So I'd ask,
For-
we should ask Cindy to advertise a vacancy.
Yes,
Since Andy and Skip are both precinct one, we would still have a precinct one representative. So anybody in town, right? Because aren't you
Yes.
precinct one? So anyone in town can apply for the vacancy, right? Because we had a specific, we could
had
only
to-
appoint a precinct two for you.
yep. So Sue, is that correct? I know you sent me the spreadsheet, but honestly, I would rather hear you actually say it.
Thank you. The precinct 5 has 3 members, and precinct 4 has 2. So basically 1, 2, and 3 are still very, very lean. So if somehow we could encourage participation from 1, 2, and 3 to even it out a little bit, that would be great. I don't know how to present that,
But there's
or
nothing prohibiting anyone from any
Oh.
precinct to be appointed.
No.
That's the
No.
point I'm making, right?
absolutely. I'm just saying we're a
No, I
little
understand.
lean.
And
Yeah,
I
we're
believe
just
that
leaning.
the policy that, as has been said recently, is that anyone who's applied in the last year would automatically be brought forward for, I'm saying, at least for the, when the town.
If
when the
we
select
have
board
any
makes an appointment.
applicants on file
Yeah,
from the
I believe
last
we-
year, we would reach
I
out to them.
believe we did have somebody that
We
applied
did,
from the wrong
who
precinct.
applied for another
So-
precinct.
Oh, we should
That
definitely
is-
reach out to
yep.
them.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So
We do
will
have
as
2.
well. We,
There
so
are actually 2.
Okay.
we'll- okay.
We should reach out to them
To them.
and schedule. So we need to schedule a meeting. How long do we usually advertise? You could come up here. Yeah. How long do we usually advertise for?
14 days.
Yeah, minimum is 14.
So then if they advertise for next week, say, right, because this is Wednesday. So if they advertise for next week, that's the 23rd. So then June 6th would be the deadline, 14 days? No, June 13th would be the deadline.
Cindy's out until next week, so that might delay things.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, okay.
So what is the date of the joint meeting with the select board?
I don't think that's been set yet. Mary, has that been set yet?
No, I haven't had a chance to talk to Evan to confirm a date for the select board and then to, bounce the dates off of, with you.
Do we wanna wait, Dawn, to that night so we don't have more meetings? So we'll advertise,
Advertise.
and then once Mary and Evan set the date, we'll coordinate with you
Yeah.
and Candy and do it that way.
Okay.
So that way we don't have to have 2 meetings.
It's better to bundle.
Is that okay with everybody?
Yep.
Nick, Heather, Nick.
Hi, how are you?
Okay, so the third item on our agenda was to approve the minutes of our meeting from January 19th.
Move to approve as presented.
Second,
All right, second.
motion made and seconded by roll call, Mark Haddad,
Aye.
Candy LaValle,
Aye.
Dawn Anderson, aye. I will now entertain a motion to, is there any other business?
Yes, please.
Yes, Sue.
Do we need to take action on Andy's not renewal? Do you vote on that?
No,
Okay,
there's nothing to vote on.
Yeah.
He asked not to be reappointed, so there's a vacancy that we'll advertise for.
Yeah.
That's kind
Thank
of
you.
rude, Andy.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. It is incredibly rude.
Yep, making more work for us.
Well, he couldn't hack it on the finance committee, so he went to the loser select board.
Cuts deep.
Skip, tell us exactly how you feel.
Jeez.
Is there any other business?
I move to adjourn. Although actually, you can just adjourn the meeting.
Oh,
You're the moderator. You're the chair. You can just adjourn it.
this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Don. Thanks, Candy. Call to order the meeting of the Grafton Finance Committee for Wednesday, May 18th. This meeting is a public meeting of the Finance Committee. It's being held both in person and via Zoom webinar, so we'll take attendance. Please introduce yourself when I call on you. Heather McHugh.
Here.
Greg Marr.
Here.
Mark Haddad, present. Andy Jefferson.
Here.
Sue Robbins.
Here.
Angelina Correa.
Here.
Skip Currier.
Present.
And I don't believe Dan is here.
No.
Okay, so I'd like to welcome, earlier tonight, the Finance Committee Appointment Committee met, and we interviewed Nick Rio from Precinct 2 as a member to fill a vacancy on the Finance Committee, and the Appointment Committee voted unanimously to appoint him to the vacancy and then reappoint him for a 3-year term. So while he's not an official member tonight until he's sworn in, he's here for our meeting. So welcome, Nick. We welcome you to the Finance Committee. We look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
So going into the meeting agenda, we did reappoint Roger Currier to the Finance Committee as well for a 3-year term expiring on June 30, 2025. And this will be the last meeting of Mr. Jefferson, and we want to congratulate Andy being elected to the Select Board.
Thank you.
This will be Andy's last meeting, so we will have a vacancy on the Finance Committee. So that will be posted. Anybody watching tonight that's interested in serving on the Finance Committee, please submit your letter of interest to the Select Board's office so that we can consider you for the vacancy. It will be a 3-year term. And as we discussed earlier, all precincts, anybody in any precinct will be able to fill the vacancy according to our bylaw. So, Andy, again, congratulations. We enjoyed working with you and wish you the best of luck on the Select Board.
Thank you.
So that said, the next thing on the agenda for the Finance Committee is the reorganization of the Finance Committee. So this is our annual meeting when we decide to reorg. And so we need to elect a chair, vice chair, and a clerk for the coming year. So I will open up nominations for the position of chair. Any nominations? Not all at once.
I nominate Mark,
Second.
position of chair.
Second.
Are there any other nominations?
Angelina has her hand up.
Go ahead, Angelina.
No, I was going to nominate you.
Oh, thank you, Angelina, and thank you, Greg. Are there any other nominations? Being none, we'll go by roll call vote. Sue Robbins,
Yes.
Andy Jefferson.
Aye.
I'll abstain. Greg Marr,
Aye.
Heather McHugh,
Aye.
Angelina Correa,
Aye.
Roger Currier.
Aye.
I would entertain nominations for the position of vice chair. Anyone?
Heather, you want to be vice chair? No. Greg?
Sure.
I nominate Greg Marr, but vice chair.
Second.
Any further nominations for vice chair? Being none, all those in favor by roll call. Heather?
Aye.
Greg?
Abstain.
Mark, aye. Andy?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Angelina?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Okay, and now we need a clerk, our current clerk, who's been doing a stellar job. Do I have a nomination for clerk?
I nominate Angelina again for
Oh,
a second
goody.
term.
Second.
Is there any further nominations? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye by roll call. Heather?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Mark? Aye. Andy?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Angelina?
Abstain.
And Skip?
Aye.
Okay, so that takes care of that. What's next on the agenda? Because my phone just does not want to work right now. I can't get the agenda for some reason.
Finance Committee updates per committee.
Who's first?
Sue, DPW, facility, and CIPC.
Sue, do you have an update for us?
I do have an update and a good one too. First of all, everyone's invited to our DPW open house on Saturday morning. It starts at 9:00. We do have State Senator Mike Moore coming, State Rep David Moranian coming, and our Town Administrator Evan will say a few words, and the chair will speak to it. I also want to bring you up to date that I and Mary and another member of the DPW went through the budget that was left from Andy. He left a thumb drive with William, so we took that and we scrutinized it. Took me a week, and as it turns out, we reconciled the numbers and we're 100,000 to the good.
That's awesome.
107,000 to the good, I think.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Because it was a little worrisome there for a while. So
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
But it took a lot. Mary helped us a lot, but we went through all those numbers and 3 of us, we managed to reconcile them. So
That's
feel good
awesome.
about that.
Congratulations.
Yep.
So good that the building, I hear nothing but wonderful things about the
It
building.
is, it's a nice building, so.
Can't wait
And
to
if
see
you
it.
bring your children, you get little hard hats.
I wonder if my
You gonna have one for
18-year-old,
Evan?
I wonder if my 18-year-old and 30-year-old would want to wear a
Got a small head, he can wear a hard hat.
Do you have any CIPC updates?
No, we have not met for a while, so I'm hoping that, I believe Evan's gonna try to get the
Oh, the summer
departments
meeting?
together over maybe August and start that process all over again, so I'm just waiting on that.
Hey, Sue, I was able to get my phone working, so you can unshare so we can see everybody.
Very
Thank you.
good.
Thank you for putting that up. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So then next update is the school committee. Are there any updates from Sue and Andy on the school committee?
Not much, but students have been coming in and presenting their science, their robotics,
Oh,
and things
nice.
like that, and there's been a big session on the civics that Amy Marr taught for class, or the civics, so that they were prepared to come to town meeting. So, which was nice, but I think their
Are they making
budget-
that part of the curriculum again?
that I don't know.
They really should. I got most, but back when, I'm a lot older than a lot of you except for Skip. Back in the day, civics was a big thing.
I had civics all
Yeah.
through high school too.
Yeah.
So, and their budget seems to be running smoothly for this year, down, and they'll start the new one come July. So
Awesome.
Yeah, and the, was it the 1822 program that they're running with Chuck
that's
Brown?
right. That's a good one.
Yeah.
The 1822 program. They made a joint effort with the bread guy.
Oh,
They're going
nice.
to rent a facility, and some of these students, 18 to 20, will be working with him, and they'll be baking bread.
I liked during the candidates, candidate debate or candidates night that the League of Women Voters did, one of the questions that got asked was, Grafton in the top, whatever the ranking was. I thought Amy's answer on that was outstanding.
She did a great job.
If you don't advocate for that, you're not gonna get it. And I gotta tell you, I had 3 kids go through the
Yeah.
Grafton Public Schools, and I think it's Jay Cummings and the staff and everybody does a wonderful job. Got
He's
such a
great.
great education.
He's
So-
great. I think now we have a dream team school committee.
I think it's
We've
a great
got
school committee.
5 really great, bright, and intelligent women running the school committee this year, so I'm very proud of them.
Yep. No, I think it's a great committee and they're doing a great job and they got a great superintendent. So
Yep.
we're very, very lucky.
Yeah, I thought Amy's comment was enlightening too, in regards to, people really vie and put money towards those titles. They're not truly a reflection of academics. So,
Right.
if people feel like their kids are getting a wonderful education in Grafton, then that's the most important thing.
Well, I gotta tell you, just from my experience, every school that my kids applied to when they got out of Grafton, they got in. Every school. I think that happened with your daughter as well and your son. So
Happened to my
it's
kids.
and your kids. So I mean, that to me shows how good the education.
Yeah, we're doing it right.
Absolutely doing it right. So, and I'm so glad we're funding the schools appropriately, and I like to think we have a role in that, and I think it's good, and I think your kids will have a great experience going through the Grafton Public Schools.
We have a hand up.
Yes, go ahead, Sue. Did you want to talk about how wonderful the school committee is too?
I totally agree with you that all the years, all of my 3 children went through school, through the public schools. And as difficult as the budget has been over all those years, placement, the college placement or the secondary school placement for the students has always been excellent. And we certainly do produce some great students and some great people.
I'm looking
So-
forward to the graduation this year, June 2nd, right, Heather? June
Yep.
2nd, so I'm looking forward to going to my son's graduation this year, so congratulations. So that's a great update.
Mark,
Yeah, go ahead.
Mark, on the, as we're going through these committee representations, on other committees or members, we had Andy on with Sue for the school committee. Would you like to offer assistance for an additional person now that Andy will be busy?
Sue, do you think we need a second person,
I
or,
don't think so. I think I can handle it.
so it'll just be Sue?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for doing that, because, yeah, we have to do that on a couple of other committees, and we'll get to that in a minute.
Thank you.
Heather, update on ARPA committee. What's going on there?
So,
I filled out my survey.
thank you. Yeah, so the surveys have been, well, we've advertised for the surveys to be filled out, so hopefully, I think it's end of May, right? Mary?
Yeah.
We're open to the end of May. And then we had, a brief, I guess, meet and greet, learning about the, what, basically, what it is and how we can spend it at the library. Not great attendance, but I think we're gonna have another one, I believe, via Zoom. So hopefully
Maybe we get more people to attend.
more people will attend. So some good ideas have been coming in, and then we're gonna meet, beginning of June to, go over the survey and figure out what we wanna do going forward.
Can I just ask who developed that survey?
The consultants with us,
Okay, because I took the survey, but I thought it was lacking in a lot of areas.
we wanted it to be broad.
Well, it was so not broad. I mean, it was like, the way I read it, it seemed like they were directing us in certain areas and not in others.
Oh, really? I didn't.
Yeah, I did, because they didn't have anything about mental health in there. They didn't have anything else, that some others that weren't on there. So when I saw that,
That did come up in when we met.
yes, I brought it up,
Yeah.
yes. And when they have that little on the screen, all the divisions, that would have been nice to put into the survey, so people would have known all the different areas that they could have made suggestions or they would want. But it just seemed to be very short and brief.
I think we were afraid to leave it open-ended because we were a little nervous of what we were gonna get. Because a lot of people don't know what the town what it could go for. I mean, now it can really go for anything because
They
it's
opened it up.
Right.
They opened it up. We didn't. They opened it up after we did it.
Yeah.
So we didn't really.
Because originally it was
very,
tailored to
very
very specific that you can
But
use it
because
for.
we only have I think it's under 10 million or something. You could pretty much.
So maybe when you do the June presentation, you'll let them know that it was narrowly focused and then now it's been opened up more, so they have a better
so people can-
understanding.
Yeah.
Nothing prohibits you, I'll be right with you, Angelina, nothing prohibits you from the committee from going off the survey to something else that may come up, right? You don't have to hold to the survey, do you?
No, there was the area.
No,
where
it's
you
more
could-
for suggestions.
Okay. I got a call to the attention that Dan Kusher has joined the meeting for the public. Welcome, Dan. Angelina, you have a question? And then Skip.
I was just wondering where it was advertised because I saw it because Amy Marr reposted something that I think Colleen had posted, but I'm friends with both of them. So
It's only on the town website.
that was the first time I had seen it. So I don't, I mean, I know it's super challenging to get it out to everyone. I was just wondering where it was advertised.
Yeah, Anne Marie and I both mentioned that it's not really shown more. It needs to be out because I don't think a lot of people know about it. But yeah, it's only on the town website.
How many responses?
I believe that they've posted it on social media. William has been posting it weekly on
the Grafton
Facebook
page?
and
I
the
saw it
social
on the
media.
Grafton page.
I didn't know that.
It's on our website.
Are we up to? I know we were.
I've
we
been
up-
emailing department heads. I've emailed the committee members, pushing it out.
I think we're about 300, and that is actually better than Worcester.
Yeah.
For the survey.
Yeah,
Well,
and
that's,
Well,
Worcester's
I mean,
like,
it's better
That's
than
good.
town meeting, so.
Yeah.
that's
That's a
good.
good point, too.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a good point.
That's a pretty good number for a survey, because
Yeah.
usually surveys trickle in and they're not
Yeah.
very many.
Skip.
So, do you have time to rerun or broaden the survey for one sort of question? The other question that I had was, do we have like an email list off of the Code Red setup that you could just blast the survey out to everybody in town?
I don't. That we married. I don't know.
I don't know if you can do
I don't
that.
know if you can do that.
I can mention it to Evan. I don't know if he would want to do that.
Yeah.
But I
Because
can
Code Red
mention
is
it.
supposed to be for
That's
emergency
the emergency.
situations.
Yeah.
I think he did
Oh.
mention that there's a general, smaller list for people that want general information that might be, and there's also one where you can sign up for for different committee mailing so you get agendas and minutes and stuff on those. So they might be able to use a list like that.
Well,
Yeah,
go ahead.
it
Skip.
would seem to me in this world that would be something that people would kind of take to, is if they got the silly thing as a email link to be able to go on and do it. That's
Because it's really quick to fill
It's
out.
only like, it's not a lot of questions.
Yeah, it's really quick to fill out, which I think is a good thing. So we had an allotment of,
We had 5.5.
yeah, and how much have we spent of that so far? Because I know we spent it on school, on the
We
HVAC.
have left a little over 2 million.
2.6.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
It was 5.6 originally, and we earmarked 3.
Okay, so that's good. So we have.
Yeah.
Do you want to stay on the committee after hearing this discussion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good to go.
I'm gonna keep checking with you as the meeting goes on. Any other questions on the ARPA committee? All right. So Greg, bylaw study committee, what's going on with you?
So the select board had a meeting. They had 2 applicants for the committee for their one position. So what they ended up doing was they appointed one, and Evan appointed the other person as his representative. So Dave Robbins is Evan's representative on the committee, and the other person who I don't remember his name was on the committee, and Ray Mead is going to be on the committee, and we have not had a.
So you have all
meeting
5
yet.
positions appointed?
Yes.
Nice.
So the meeting, everyone is appointed. We just need probably someone from the select board to set the first agenda, since we don't have a chair yet.
Do you have a? Do we know what the time frame is? You haven't done any of that yet because
No.
you haven't set your meeting yet. Okay.
Oh yeah, and the
Usually
the fifth person being the town clerk.
Town clerk. Okay.
I think it's usually like a year. If
We-
they need more,
We are charged by the charter is to present our findings in the form of amendments at the October town meeting in 2023.
Okay. So you have a year and a half to do everything you
Yeah.
have to do.
Yeah,
That's
and
what-
presumably there'll be some kind of public outreach before that.
Nice.
So, but
Nice. All right. Do we need a library, building, and planning person anymore?
Well, I was going to talk to you about that.
The floor is yours, Andy.
So I can give you an update first. We are getting close. They have a couple contractor issues that they're working to get resolved. They're responding to final comments. I was responding to comments in the final leads application. For that certification, we're still waiting on some ADA work. The budget isn't looking like it's trending quite into the good right now, but we're hoping we get there. But yes, there is a meeting scheduled currently for June and July. So
Now, let me ask you a question. Sue, do we have to have a member of the finance committee, or can it be a representative of the finance committee on the library and planning committee?
be a representative.
It has to be one of us?
No, I think we can appoint anyone.
So
Right.
I'm gonna suggest, because it looks like, if it's okay with the finance committee, because there is probably not much time left, would you mind continuing, even though you're no longer a member, being our representative?
well, that not much time left is tricky because in November when I was initially appointed to this, there was not much time left then either.
he's still going.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
And we've still got meetings going at least into July. But yes, because at the same time, Doreen was a select board representative, so I'm gonna offer them to play double duty and be representatives for both, if that pleases everybody
I have
else.
no problem with that because it's really hard to bring someone new on.
And he's up
when
to
you're
speed with everything.
Yes, and when you bring someone new on, they're totally lost. And I say if he can represent both boards, that's the way we could do it because I was on another building committee and the person got off finance committee but we asked her if she would come back and report to us and bring
Yeah.
us up to date even after she was off finance.
That was my thought process. Plus, it makes Andy come back to our meetings, even if he doesn't want to. So,
I'm in favor of that.
okay. So I don't think we
Yeah.
need to take a vote. Do we need to
No.
take a vote or anything on that, Sue? Or can we just?
I would.
All right. Then I make then I
Well,
entertain a
how can we
motion.
take a vote?
Well,
Well,
I'd
he has to
entertain a
get it
motion.
on- Yes, well, he's still our representative for finance committee.
It would be next. It would be next.
All right, because you have to get
He's not.
If we
worked
off
out with those.
wherever-
select board too.
yeah.
All right, I move that we continue to have Andrew represent us for the library committee, building
Second.
committee.
Any further discussion? All those in favor by roll call, Heather?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Mark, aye. Andy?
I'll abstain.
Sue?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Angelina?
Aye.
Okay, perfect. Next is the TRICOM Subcommittee. I'm gonna assume you're gonna jump on that from the Select Board. Angelina had reached out to me and said she would be interested in being the TRICOM Subcommittee rep from this committee. I'd like to continue as the rep, so is that okay? Should we,
Fine.
then I entertain a motion to appoint Angelina as our other representative? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor by roll call, Heather?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Mark, aye. Andy?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Angelina?
Abstain.
Okay, so I'll do the update. We met, and I gave you an update the last time. I know that Mary and Evan and Anita and Jay are gonna be putting together their long-term projections. And in August, they're gonna call back the meeting of the TRICOM to review that. And then we'll bring their update to the full Finance Committee and Select Board.
They will have 5-year projections.
They'll have
correct?
5-year projections. So how's that going, Mary? Working, is still August the target?
Yes, yep.
Perfect. All right, so that's the update on the TRICOM. As far as the Select Board, I was on I attended the last couple of Select Board meetings, and they've got, wow.
You don't
Good-
say. Me too.
Good,
Yeah.
good luck. Good luck. But the one update that I thought was great, I also served as a town representative on the Fire Chief Search Committee, and the Select Board appointed Eric Matthews as the Fire Chief, and I think he's gonna be a great Fire Chief for the town, so I'm very excited that he's the Fire Chief, and I look forward to working with him.
Thank you for serving on that committee because you guys brought 3 really great candidates forth, and
I was very pleased with the process.
Yeah.
It was a good committee. We had a lot of great applicants, and the 3 applicants we brought forward to the board were very strong, and the board had a really good debate, and I thought the public process of the debate for the fire chief was outstanding, and it showed how important that position is. It's the first full-time strong chief, and I think Eric is going to be amazing. I really do.
also, so with Nick here tonight, it was the same thing. It's a little bit surreal as you sit here while members that you're discussing are in the audience, and you have to deliberate on who ultimately you want to be your choice. But yeah, it
was a good debate.
It was.
I
It
enjoyed
really
it.
was. Yeah.
I enjoyed it. The funny part was the candidates were sitting outside in the hallway. They didn't come in the room, and so after the board voted, I got up and walked out, and they're there and they're looking, and I almost said to Eric, "Congratulations," but I said, "That's not my job to tell him. He just got appointed." So nice to see you, and I just kept walking down the hall. I think he's going to do a great job. So Finance Committee, Appointment Committee, you all participated in that, and we have Nick now, so we're excited about that. Are there any other committees that we need to put representatives on, Sue?
I think we have them all covered.
Perfect. Outstanding bills, internet reimbursement, do we have that?
Yes, we do.
How much is that for?
That is for sorry, you guys. $63. That brings us to the end of the year.
I'd entertain a motion to pay that bill.
So moved.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor by roll call, Heather?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Mark, aye. Andy?
Aye.
I'm gonna miss saying Andy. What's that? Sue?
Aye.
Angelina?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
We have another bill for Gatehouse Media. Do we finally have the Gatehouse Media bill?
Yes, we do. Oh my gosh, right?
And how much is that
I
one
want
for?
you to know that this is a new company, which was the reason for part of the delay. But this is almost $100 less expensive.
Oh, nice.
And this has been difficult over the last, I swear, 10 years. The prices have been astronomical. This used to be like a $35 bill or $45 bill. And I'm talking, a short time ago, not 35 years ago. But the price is down. So I'm very happy to report that.
Oh, nice. Then I'd entertain a motion to pay Gatehouse Media in the amount of $156. Is there,
So moved.
thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in
One
favor?
question.
Oh, please go ahead.
What is this bill for?
This is for the legal notices in the Grafton News. It runs for 2 weeks.
Okay.
For the public hearings. So we run this 3 times a year. We run it in the fall, September, for October town meeting public hearings. We run it in January for the budget presentation by the town administrator. And the third one was for May town meeting.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good question. I should have told you what that was for. Any further discussion? All those in favor by roll call, Heather?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Mark, aye. Andy?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Angelina?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Okay, we have minutes of the May 5th and May 9th meeting. I would entertain a motion to approve those as presented. Great job on the minutes, Sue.
So moved.
Thank you.
Is there a
Second.
second? Any further discussion? All those in favor by roll call, Heather?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Mark, aye. Andy?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Angelina?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
And Skip.
Aye.
Okay, so next on the agenda, I received a request from Sue.
Yep.
To put a review of the May 9th, 2022 town meeting on the agenda. The floor is yours.
The reason I wanted to put this on the agenda was I have kind of like 3 things I'd like to point out. One, I didn't like the tables being on the floor, sitting on. I would rather have us put back up on the stage.
I will let the moderator know that.
I felt so uncomfortable. I felt like I was sitting right in their laps, and I felt uncomfortable with that. So I would like to see us back up on the stage. Second, I think I know that the meetings have been running smoothly and faster, but I think we as the finance committee have been remiss in not presenting our town budget to the townspeople during that meeting. And I don't mind doing the summaries, like we did this year. But I really think that the message needs to be presented to them so they can hear it, because the message was not attached to the warrant articles that was passed out at town meeting. They were the other ones that, I don't know where they all went, but it wasn't in there. So I think we need to go back to making sure we present the town message to the people, and we could do a PowerPoint so it's easier for them. And secondly, I think thirdly, well, it's second kind of supposed to do a budget. The capital budget, I think really when it's put up on the screen, it should list all the capital budgets so people know where all that money is being spent.
Did you, okay,
Because it didn't show, it was confusing how they did the
Yeah.
budget. I agree.
did you, I think I agree with everything you're saying. The way we did the budget this year, on just the general categories instead of reading every individual line item, how were you with that?
I didn't mind it. It's difficult for the townspeople to put a hold on anything. They would have to hold, and I guess that's another thing that concerns me. They're really not familiar yet with ClearGov. A lot of people don't know how to maneuver in ClearGov, and I think if we did the line by line, like we used to do, they could put a hold on it, which I really didn't mind, but it slows down the meeting a little bit. But then I think if we found some way to educate the townspeople how to use ClearGov, if we held a workshop or something and showed them how to do it, then they would be able to see everything and see the reasonings for all of that.
Okay.
And I think that would kind of eliminate having to do line by line going through there. I didn't mind the summaries because we know what's in there, but
Well, I think people have faith that the finance committee
Well,
has
they
gone
do.
through this, has gone through the information, and they trust. So I think, I agree with you on the capital. I like the way we did the budget, and that one gentleman had no problem getting up, putting a hold on the library budget.
well, he used to be a finance committee member.
Oh, that's why he knew
Yeah.
to do that. I will say, and no disrespect because they were caught off guard, I thought the explanation was not strong.
No, it wasn't.
But I think it's because they were just put on the spot.
Right.
You gotta be prepared when you go to town meeting, if somebody puts a hold on, you gotta be prepared to address that.
Because I could tell Bill was frustrated with the answer.
He was, because, one of the answers was, our staff was underpaid, so it made it sound like they got a $300,000 increase.
Yep.
Which, not the case.
No.
They added 10 more employees, or whatever
Right.
whatever the number was, so, I think we need to be, I think we need to.
I don't think
pay
he
attention
was
to that.
happy with what happened because a promise was made and in his mind it was broken, and I could see what he was saying.
I agree. The same promise was made for the schools.
Right.
You
You can't make that
and
promise.
You can't make that promise.
I-
It's a bigger building.
Right.
How do you not increase your staff?
I think what would have been good, or would have really handled that very, very well, is I was wrong,
Exactly. And
Right.
There's no way she was going to do
Right.
that.
but you should have.
Right.
I agree.
I
But
was
the-
wrong,
the-
and I didn't. We thought we could do it, but once the building was built and the size and the rooms and the
Added
desks,
desk.
we needed additional staff to
Agreed.
to support your $16 million investment.
And I think that actually, that did come up during the public hearing with the library. And
I wasn't there that
she
night.
talked about how originally they were planning a more open floor plan and 2 desks on the first floor. And then the MBLC came in and said, you of all people should know that you need a separate room for the teen and for the children, and they need to be enclosed rooms, and they need to have a staff in each of them. You of all people saying, because she's a supporter of
Yep.
the different.
She could have said that.
And I think that's something that she probably could have said if she probably wasn't just prepared for this. That would have been something good to talk about, and it's something she has said before. So is
I agree with
I think she was taken off guard.
That was, and I'm not blaming her. I'm just
Yeah.
saying she was caught off guard, and she
Yeah.
just, there's a lot of, you got 200 people in the room looking at you.
Right.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But,
know?
you know,
So
for as
it-
many times that she's been for us, she should have had that like that, though.
Unfortunately, what she would have been forced into the position of saying, based on the feedback she got from the library folks at the state level, is that I should have known better than to tell you this.
That's what
It's
I'm
almost
saying.
like she's saying, I lied to you when I got called on it.
I don't,
I don't think.
No, she didn't lie. I would have
lied.
said I was wrong. And Greg
Well-
just articulated very well the reasons why she was wrong, which
Well,
is understandable.
right. I mean,
It sounded to me as if Greg articulated that the library board said, you of all people should have realized that you can't do this.
Well, the state said that to them, which
Yeah.
is fine.
Right.
Well, that's fine, but
She should have, but she didn't.
But she
So
didn't.
She did it wrong.
nobody's
Yeah.
perfect.
she didn't
Yeah.
think
My
of
mother.
that when they were
and
doing
it's
the or
funny because
the-
you deal with public
Whoever made the
buildings,
plans.
library or school buildings. The state has more control over what you're going to do and what you're going to put in it than any other.
I gotta
building.
tell, that is you are so right. We're building an elementary school
Right.
in Groton. I'm on the building committee. The requirements for the MSBA is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
For 26 million of a $77 million project, they control the project.
Right.
And it's brutal. So what you're saying is 100% accurate. And she should have said that at town meeting. All right, so based on what you're saying, consensus from the finance committee, back on stage. We'll bump, why don't we push the select board over to the right, and then we'll sit on the other side, where there's more room, right? And so I'll let the moderator know, that's the wish of the finance committee. We'll ask Mary, you heard the message when the capital budget is presented to the town meeting, the entire budget should be up on the screen so people can see the numbers. They do have it in the motion, they do have it in the warrant, but not everybody had the warrant there.
No.
So I think having it up on the screen makes a lot of sense. And the third thing is the wonderful report that Greg is gonna write for us next spring.
Yep.
Will be read into the record.
I really think that's important. That's really our responsibility,
Yep.
is to give that message to the townspeople.
Well, we got
I've heard other
complacent.
people say this.
Well, I think we got complacent
Because
because
of
of the
COVID. Yep.
COVID, and we
Yep.
were outside,
Yep.
and it was 80 degrees, and we thought, we'll just let them read it because
Yep.
we only can sweat for so many hours
Exactly.
before we die. So.
So, yeah, we'll put it back, we'll put that back into,
Yeah.
we'll put that back
I
into
think that would
play.
be good.
One other thing that I noticed that what confused people was we had Appendix A, which listed the whole budget, operating and capital together, and then we had
Yeah, that needs to be separated.
Yeah,
the
that-
motions, which were separate.
Right.
So
Yeah, I talked to Evan about that. Like, I didn't even realize that was in there. Like, that really confused everybody because you
Yeah.
have your omnibus, and then you had the capital, and then that one was the combination of all of it, and it was really confusing.
And I think the gentleman, I think it was Mr. Paget, that got up and said, I'm confused. I don't blame him. I'm glad he brought that up. So now we'll know next year to fix that. I will say the layout of the warrant this year, I thought Evan and William did a great job. I thought the layout was really good this year, and every year it'll get better.
Yeah.
You know, from
Definitely.
experience.
And I know the meetings are going faster and smoother, but I just think we need to slow down for our $75 million,
So-
which is a big amount
Yeah.
of money. To
Agreed.
slow down and say to the people, this is what it's like, and this is what's been going on in the departments, and this is why we're asking for it.
Agreed.
So one of the other things that I noticed was one of the, and I think it was actually the capital motion, the things were listed in one order in the warrant and a different order on the PowerPoint. And that's where I was going to ask a question about the numbers being different, and then I realized they were the same, just in a different order.
Right.
So if we can make sure that the PowerPoint and the warrant have numbers in the same order when they're showing the same numbers, that would be helpful.
Okay.
Back to something that in the past, was the finance committee recommendation read after each warrant?
No.
In the past?
No.
No, we just printed it.
Yeah, not as long as
Okay.
I've been in. Do you think we should?
I was thinking that at one point they said the warrant, they read the motion, and then I thought the moderator or someone from the finance committee said finance committee recommends passage of the motion
No,
Only
as
changed it.
on the budget motion says approve the budget as submitted by the finance committee and the town administrator. I remember that.
Okay.
And then I think there was, on the capital budget, they did the same thing. So I think it was any budget item was as presented by the town administrator and the finance committee.
And the only time that when we reconsider a warrant article before town meeting, then that's when we speak up and say finance committee
Right.
has reconsidered it and we recommend.
Okay.
And the moderator did that
Yeah.
for us this year.
Yeah, and I think we should get back to doing
Okay.
that ourselves instead of the
Okay.
moderator, because it's really should be coming from the finance committee. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm not criticizing Dawn.
No, not at all.
But I think we're giving up more and more of our responsibility and we shouldn't be.
Okay.
So,
Would it make sense to show the recommendations on the PowerPoint if there's room?
We could talk to Evan and William
Yeah.
about that. Sure, why not?
think
Put it
it's a
right
good
up on
idea.
the screen.
Yeah, I mean, because we're putting the effort to write them, sometimes more than others, but the
Well,
It'd
some
be
of them were
good to-
brilliantly written
yeah.
this year than others.
yeah. So I think if we have something significant to say about the article, then it would be good for us to actually put that up in front of them, because that's our job as finance committee,
right.
is to
Okay.
educate the people about and provide recommendations to them, because we are their advisory board.
Absolutely. And as I was saying to you, Nick, the town meeting really does look to the finance committee for advice, and when the finance committee doesn't take a position, they want to know, or if we have a negative position, they want to know why we have a negative position. Sometimes they agree with us, sometimes
It
they
was
don't.
really hard to take votes when the table went 6 miles across. And
It's
I'm
better
sitting
when we
there
sit around like
trying
this.
to hear Mark
Yep.
any seconds or anything, so, yeah, we need to be back on stage.
We will be back on stage.
They could give us a round table.
Yeah, they could take a portion of
Yeah.
something.
Evan said to me before the meeting, he's like, we were planning that the screen was going to be down and there wasn't room, and then we ended up projecting on the psych in the back, and now there's plenty of room, but it's too late to move it. So
So we will.
I think he was
back
he
on
was
stage.
thinking we would be back up there even before the meeting.
He was
started.
going to move us back up that night if we
Yeah.
wanted to.
Because
He
they
was.
did move the tables down, because David was over there earlier, working to make sure the clickers were gonna work. And that's when they moved the tables, was that just before town meeting, so they could have moved them back up, they weren't that big a thing, but
We'll be back on stage.
yeah,
in
I
the fall.
felt so close to they felt like they were breathing down our necks, you know.
And our facial expressions were quite noticeable to people. sitting there.
You were.
I did hear about that from one person that felt it was kind of inappropriate for us to be championing one side or the other, which seems kind of odd since that's exactly our job. But
Considering
Yeah,
we
we're supposed to do that.
Because we were in favor of the CPC.
Yes.
article.
That was ridiculous that was even a debate.
Well, you know, if we recommend it and we agree with it, that's what we're supposed to do, is
Yeah.
champion that. We advocate for that. So,
So it was inappropriate for us to offend people.
because he didn't like it.
Because they didn't like the fact that we had a different opinion than he did. Well, that's our
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
And we had a full debate on that. That was one of the lengthier debates we had on the warrant articles.
It could have gone a little longer, I think, to cut off debate would happen too quickly. But
I don't know if it would have
that's my
changed.
opinion.
I think it was gonna be the same.
I don't think it would have
Just
mattered.
different words.
Yeah.
Saying it differently.
I think so. So, all right. So we don't have a meeting date, so we'll get for our next meet. Thank you, Sue, for putting that on the agenda tonight. I'm glad we did all that.
So, Mark,
Go ahead, Skip.
excuse me. I just wanted to draw your attention back to the fact that you will, in fact, be reading the well-written article that Mr. Marr writes for next year's meeting.
I will practice. I will practice. Make me sound intelligent.
Okay.
Please. Thank you.
I'll try.
And we'll make it a PowerPoint. People always like the PowerPoint, so,
No
By
words.
the way, the presentation, I thought Eric's presentation was excellent.
yes.
And then the counter presentation, I thought that PowerPoint, you're right.
Yeah.
It makes a difference having that up on the
That gives
screen.
them a visual, because
Yep.
not everybody learns by
Yep.
auditory.
Yep.
It's as long as you don't put the whole thing up there, so you're not reading it.
No, you're not reading it, but you
Right.
put there's a lot of numbers that you
The
have in there.
bullets, the bullet
The
points.
bullets, you can put it up
Yeah.
there as we talk about that. So Mary, you'll get in touch with, Evan will get in touch with us and we'll schedule a meeting, joint meeting to do your, to do the,
Yes.
line item transfers. And then, we'll schedule, Sue, the finance committee, appointment committee, joint meeting with the finance committee that same night. We know we have already 2 applicants that have applied. Hopefully there'll be more applicants. And we'll do an interview and we'll figure out who, and depending on the number of applicants that come in,
Yep.
we'll either start at 6 or 6:30 that night. If we have 2 applicants, we may need a little bit more time because, you took forever tonight. You had a lot to say.
I tried to keep it tight.
All right, anything else? Sue, I'm not missing anything, right?
A little bit, just a little one.
She always catches me on something. What did I forget this time?
Well, no, nothing serious. I just would like to know, I'm going to be away for a couple of weeks. And so we need someone to basically refer to if there's any information from June 1 to June 12 that Finance Committee would need to be contacted on.
I will take care of that. So I'll let Evan know if anything comes up to, Mary, can you let Evan know if anything comes up? Just come to me because Sue will be out of town for a couple of weeks. I don't know who gave you permission to take a vacation.
It was an unexpected vacation, but it's all good.
Good,
Where are
good.
you going?
I am going to Ireland.
Ah, cool.
Enjoy. You gonna come
Thank you.
back?
I am going to come back.
All right, good. We need you to come back.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that it's only a vacation,
Yeah,
a
thank you.
temporary vacation.
They have Zoom there, Dan, don't worry.
Yes, you can do it for us.
Yeah, you can be anywhere in the world now, Sue. We got you.
This is the first time ever that I'm not taking the Finance Committee computer on a trip.
Can you see her
Ooh.
zooming from a castle?
Yeah,
That would be
exactly.
so
I
great.
will.
That would be great.
That would be great. That would be
I
awesome.
will. I will send you all some wonderful pictures from my wonderful experience. This was a surprise. My children thought I was going to be retired by now.
We keep trying.
So
They
this was
know.
an unexpected surprise. So it is what it is, and I certainly couldn't say no. And
No.
No, have fun.
So, yeah.
Have a
Enjoy.
blast.
I don't think anything's gonna come up in the next couple of weeks, so. The
No,
only
we're
thing-
in such great shape. Thank you, Mary. This is wonderful. So, I mean, I'm really not even going to be missed.
You'll be
because
missed.
Mary's got it all together.
Well, let me
And-
ask a question, Sue. You'll send something to Cindy to say to advertise the vacancy?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I'll be working until the 27th,
All right,
technically.
Perfect.
Okay. And then we might want to take a look when we meet again briefly in June. I'm suggesting like August 24th or August 31st.
Our usual end of summer meeting to prepare for the fall?
Yes.
Okay, we could set that date at that
Yep.
June meeting, right?
Yep.
Because we'll have 2 new members.
Yes.
We'll have, Nick, and then another new member, so that way we'll have everybody there and we can make that decision.
Yes.
I'd like to just suggest, could you sit down with Evan and see if we can't come up with a creative way to get our secretary for the Finance Committee?
I will talk to Evan about that.
I just think we need to push that a little. I know he's been doing a good job and it's not his fault. People keep falling through the cracks, but I wonder if there's some other area or some way we can get a person for us.
I'll get in touch with Evan, I'll talk to him about
Because
it.
Sue will be here forever. she'll be.
Which isn't a bad
bringing in-
thing. I know, which
she'll
isn't
be
a
here
bad thing.
when the grandchildren come on this board. So-
What's the record? Do we know the record for longest serving town employee in the history of Grafton?
It'll be Sue eventually.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for, Dan. That's what I want to do.
Getting grayer by the moment, folks.
Yeah.
Ray Jordan.
Your suggestion,
Yeah.
I will do that. Sue,
Okay.
anything else?
No, I think we're in great shape.
All
Thank
right,
you.
great meeting tonight. Nick, welcome. We look forward to working with you. You'll get notification from Sue, and then you'll know when our meeting is going to be. It'll be in a joint meeting with the select board to do those line item transfers. So, all right, no other business. I will declare us adjourned. Have a good night, everybody.